The expenses scandal has ruined the trust of many people in politics. What are your solutions to controlling an overly powerful executive?
The expenses scandal was absolutely shocking. At about the same time as we saw the extraordinary results in last year's Euro elections, because people, quite rightly, signified their anger at the way MPs had behaved, whether they were flipping homes, making out that their home was in London and then their constituency and back again, avoiding capital gains tax or employing members of their families, all of this kind of stuff. I had no idea it was happening on that kind of scale. I think it should be banned. I gather some of these practices, but not all of them. You're still going to be allowed to employ family members. Look, as members of Parliament, you are away from your family for a long time. I've got a 4-year-old and a 13-month-old, and my wife, and we live here in Gloucester. I'm away from them for quite a considerable period of time. I could quite easily say, well, I'm going to employ her, I'll see more of her. I think it's the wrong thing to do. I would ban it. I would ban the employment of family members, because not only must politicians be clean, they must be seen to be clean, which is very important. Now, even when I was a minister, people said to me, well, why don't you say, London's your main home because you've got to do ministerial work instead of the constituency? And it was implied that it was a way that you could actually maximise your allowances. I said very firmly, no. MPs should represent, live in, work in, and use the state actually as well in their constituencies. So my home has always been in the constituency, and it always will be. And I was shocked to see the flipping that went on. I think even some were accused even within this county of flipping homes and avoiding capital gains tax. They'll have to answer to that, to their own electorates in their own way. And maybe they've got explanations for it. But I actually went as far as running for Speaker, because I just thought that we were so out of touch, that we weren't making the changes that we needed to make. And I also felt that Parliament does need to be more deferential. I think the executive needs to give more power to Parliament, to backbenchers. But I think Parliament as a whole, I think this is an argument that politicians are still missing. Politicians need to move power away from Parliament and to local people and local communities. Why is it that in Parliament the front benches set what the topical issue for debate should be? It shouldn't be them, it should be you. You should have a say in that through internet polling. You're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, you have access to new technology. Why shouldn't you be allowed to use it to decide what the topical issue for debate is for MPs? I think if you did, the green benches would be far fuller, because MPs would know that what we're discussing are your issues, rather than the issues of the front benches of any given day. I would also, as I said, my speaker hustings speech, which you can see on my website if you want to look it up, but I said that we should be moving some of the apparatus of Parliament away from Westminster into local communities. Just imagine if we held more adjournment debates out in the regions or out in places like Gloucester. Then ministers would actually not be up in Whitehall making these decisions. They would be feeling the heat of anger from local communities in what would be very, very full local buildings, places like the Guildhall or Shire Hall, wherever, places that you could attend and watch these debates. And I think that would be really refreshing, and it may even change the nature of some of the decisions that are made in your name.
Okay, lovely.